So first off, man, thank you for coming to my breakout room. It's definitely cool to see a full room with everyone standing up and sitting on the floors. So anyone willing to stand for 20 minutes for me, thank you. Appreciate you. My name is David Price. So I'm assuming you guys saw me on stage. Is anyone that didn't see me on stage? Okay, so we're already pretty far because I promised I was going to go over the rest of the slides. So I believe we're on 2, right? Does 2 sound about right? Yeah. We're talking about lead sources. Everyone agree? Okay. Everyone got a chance to text to get a copy of these slides in case I don't finish again, because you guys know I take a little bit longer to talk. We'll give you a chance at the end. So I believe we're talking about proven systems, actually. Does that sound about right? Yes. So in case you don't know who I am, I'm David Price. I work with Senior Life Insurance Company, and I help people build agencies, basically. That's, someone asks you, what do you do for a living? I help people build agencies, right? There's a lot of people that'll teach you how to sell insurance, which is super important, and that's the first part of it, right? But my part is like, okay, cool, let's get from there to having an agency to where you could be wherever you want, getting paid. And I'm gonna go over some of those tools that I use to help my agents go from agents to agency owners. And that doesn't mean we skip the agent part, right? We got to start as the agent part. So the first thing to do is teach people how to be an agent, but then we got to figure out how to level them up to be agency owners. So we'll talk about that. So proven system, I'm pretty sure it is where we left off, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. So find somebody that has a proven system. This is what I do. I'm a copycat, right? I find someone that has success doing something. I latch onto that person. I say, man, you're doing amazing at that. What do I got to do to get you to teach me how to do that, right? Super important. So what I hear a lot of new agents do is like, oh man, I bypassed all the people and I'm direct with the carrier now. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. So how's that going for you? Well, I can't really write any business and this and that, but I got the highest comp in the world, and there's nothing wrong with high comp, right? But 180% of zero is definitely zero. Right, so people get so focused on that part when what they should really be focused on is the learning part and the mentorship part, finding a system that works, right? I'm not in the restaurant business, but if I wanted to be in the restaurant business and I had the money and capital to do it, I'd probably buy McDonald's, right? I don't eat at McDonald's, right? I don't think they have great food. I don't think it's that good for you. But if I want to make money and have freedom in the restaurant business, McDonald's is the restaurant I'm probably going to buy because I know they have a really simple system that anyone can do. I don't have to worry about the 5-star chef walking out and me be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to get a new 5-star chef, right? So now if I'm super passionate and I want to serve the best food in the world and like I want to just bless people with amazing food and I'm willing to be in that restaurant and I don't want the time freedom, then cool, no problem. I'll find a really fancy place and I'll slave in it. And if that's my passion, that's what I want to do, it is, right? But if your plans, like my plan was to create freedom in this industry, don't get so focused on the product and stuff like that. And with that being said, I mean, we want to take care of people, right? I would say if you're going to be in sales, you could sell a great product, right? I used to sell cars to people with bad credit and those cars were garbage. And I stopped doing it. I did it for a very short period of time because I didn't feel good about myself. And I'm like, well, if I'm selling something, why am I gonna sell crap? So definitely sell good stuff. I don't want you to think that I want you guys to sell McDonald's hamburgers as insurance, right? So find a system that works because you have direct access to someone successful using it. Again, that's in the mentorship. If the system works and the person will talk to you and answer your phones and answer your questions, then definitely take advantage of that. Now, don't be that person that asks all the questions and then doesn't execute or put the actions in, right? Because what I would tell that person is stop answering the questions and stop answering the phone, right? And again, like when you're building leaders, that's what you have to learn to do. You have to learn where to spend your time. And if the person's just, stuck or just won't do anything and you can't get them to come in or do anything, like you can't help that person, no matter what you tell them, no matter what you say. I forgot someone used a really good analogy on the stage, but I always like to use golf. I suck at golf. I played about one game of golf. I drove some balls maybe 5 times in my entire life, very spread apart, which is why I suck at golf. Right? If I want to get better at golf, I'll be on that driving range every single day. I'd be signing up for golf course classes. I'd be swinging the club and gaining experience. And eventually I know I'd get good at it. right? Just like anything else that we do. When in question, refer back to the system. So many people, they have access to a good system that works. They have access to a good mentor, and they hit resistance, which you will, right? There's no easy way to do it in this business. That's why they pay us as well as they pay us, right? They would be paying us 10, 15 bucks an hour if we're just gonna collect checks and banking information all day long, I promise you. So what happens is they hit that resistance, and once they hit that resistance, they start asking other people. And most of the time, those other people aren't even successful, right? It's like, hey man, I don't know what's going on, these leads, this and that. Oh man, these leads sound like a scam. Oh, right, you're right. And they start talking to these other people and they mess up their mindset. Your mindset's the most important thing in this business, right? Your mindset, your heart, your activity, like that will make you a millionaire if you can keep that stuff right. All the other stuff is just details. So make sure, hey, I'm having a hard time. I don't know what's going on with the leads. I'm having issues closing. You're talking to that same person that you entrusted, right? That person that's your mentor that has a working system to show you how to work that system, right? If I had some guy make me, if I have a Mercedes, right, and it's broken, I'm not going to go to a Honda dealer to get it fixed. I'm bringing it to the Mercedes dealer. They're used to working on Mercedes. So it's gonna be hard, get ready, right? That's the thing, it's gonna be hard, get ready, like just embrace it. Just know that's it. And listen, life's hard no matter what. You can lay on the couch and watch TV all day long. I promise you, your life's gonna be hard. Something's gonna be hard about it. Something's gonna happen. People are gonna die. People are gonna get sick. Like you're not gonna feel good. Your bills are gonna come, whether you're on the couch or whether you're trying to make it, right? So I feel like choose the right hard. Choose the hard that's gonna give you the results that you want. Learn. Too many agents in the beginning, what they do is they're so focused on making money, right? And what we should be more focused on is learning. Anyone in here got a college degree? Anyone got 4 years of college they use? It looks like a lot of you guys, right? So how much did you pay to go to college for 4 years?
Too much.
Right? Right? And did they pay you while you were doing that? Were you guaranteed a job afterwards? Nothing at all, right? But we're okay spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 to go to college for no guarantee. But then we'll hire an agent, and I'm like, hey, cool, you're gonna have to get some leads. Oh, do you have to pay for them? Yes, you do. Right? Your leads are your education. Because I promise you, you take $40,000, or he said 6 figures, you take 6 figures, we don't need that much. You take $40,000 and you spend that on leads over a 12-month period. At the end of that 12-month period, you are going to have an education to make as much money as you want from anywhere you want.
And you're also going to have an MBA, a master's bank.
And an MBA. So the cool thing about that is you get to make money while you're doing it, right? But again, we're so focused on, man, I didn't make any money, or my ROI and these leads aren't right, and we get so focused on these things that like shouldn't even matter to us. When I started, dude, I sucked. But I was like, dude, I'm gonna make all the mistakes. I'm gonna learn as fast as I can. Like, I'm gonna make mistakes way faster than anyone else. Because the faster I make mistakes, the faster I'm gonna learn. That's my education, right? So if you're a new agent and you're struggling, it's okay. We all did at one point, right? And we are gonna invest some time, some money, some energy, but it's gonna give us a chance to learn something that no one could ever take away from us. I went to college for 2 years. I was one class away from a associate's degree. Thank you. See, I'm not that smart at all. And at that point, I realized I don't even know why I'm going to college. So I just stopped, right? But I got an education on how to create a 7-figure income, in this business. And I did that in 4 years. And I got to make a little bit of money while doing it. So I feel like that's way worth more than the degree. So again, I always get wrapped around. It was like these agents that I had one agent, I'm thinking about her right now. And she's like, yeah, I got 2 degrees. I'm like, okay, cool. So why won't you follow our system for a week? Like a week. I couldn't get her to follow our system for a week. Like a week. I can't get you to do it straight for 1 whole week, but you went to school and got 2 degrees that you don't use at all. So know that. We all want to make money, but the goal should be to learn a skill that will make us more, right? So just really hit on that. When things get hard, remember, this is how we learn. So when I was in the field and I was a personal producer, my whole thing was like, I needed to go through all these little struggles because my goal was to build a business and I need to teach someone else how to go through these little struggles, right? And if I had no struggles, I had an agent, the girl submitted 1,000 applications her first year, issued over $400,000 in business. The girl did not struggle. I don't know, God just said, hey, you're in charge of selling final expense for me or something. And when she became a manager, she was so confused. Like, I don't understand why you're having trouble. Just get leads and go to work, right? Because she didn't go through the struggles, and it took some time to teach her like how to manage people and teach people how to go through these struggles and stuff, because she just didn't struggle. She went from making $500 a month on selling jewelry on Facebook Lives and then reinvesting all that money into more jewelry, so she wasn't really making anything, to making a six-figure income her first year in the business, a nice six-figure income her first year in the business. So she was just confused when people struggled. So teach, right? So this is why you need to talk to everyone. So you need to, again, you want to go through these struggles, and you got to like embrace it. Be like, cool, man. You know what? I got a flat tire in the middle of nowhere. Like, this sucks, but now I got this story and I can show someone else how to get through this. Or, man, this door was super hard to get into, but I fought, and now I got some little tricks I can teach other people how to get into it. Or, man, this person was so hard to give me the bank information over the phone, but now I got it and I know how to get other people to. This person want to hang up on me, but like, dude, I just kept on asking them questions and they end up not hanging up on me. And now I know how to teach that trick to somebody else. Right? So you want to go through this process, and you want these things to happen to you so you can teach it. Now you need to teach someone what you do, right? So you became a successful agent, right? You know how to sell insurance, you know how to make some money, and you don't have to be the top agent, right? You don't have to, there's nothing wrong with being an amazing top agent, but you don't have to be that before you start teaching other people, right? All you got to do is know how to make some money, because you could teach other people how to make some money, right? So some people are working for someone else, making $2,000 a month, horrible, hate their job, right? If we could teach them how to make $2,000 a month and let them work for themselves, they're winning, right? So it doesn't have to be 6 figures or 7 figures or something before you start doing that. So you want to find someone and teach them what you know, right? Recruit somebody, hire them, whatever you want to call it, but start teaching them how to be an agent. Most people aren't going to be willing, and they're not going to be coachable. That's a big, big thing, right? We're going to want it more than most people, right? Understand that, identify that, and then what you do is you spend your time with the people that are going to commit, right? I can't make somebody go to work. Listen, you guys could all decide you want to work with me tomorrow. I can give you guys the best system in the world, but if I can't get you to follow it and nothing I say does it, I can't help you. Right? And then I need to identify, listen, I'm sorry, everyone. I loved you guys. They came in my breakout room. I thought we were going to do great things together, but I can't help you because you aren't doing anything. So I need to find somebody that I can help. And I can never judge it. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter where they're from. It doesn't matter how smooth they talk, how much sales experience they have. I've seen people completely blow my mind. Like the girl that did 1,000 apps her first month in the business. That girl's never really had a job before. I actually put a post on Facebook. I'm looking to hire somebody to post for me on social media. I pay you $500 a month. She reached out to me and she's like, David, that money would really help my family, $500 a month. She 1099, $170,000 her first year with me, right? Did her life change? Her husband loves me. If she sounds like she's arguing with me on the phone, her husband like, you better listen to Dave. Right? Now she's at a multi-6-figure income. So again, I did not see that coming. Like, her ceiling was $500 a month. That's what she was trying to get. So you just don't know, but spend your time with the people willing to listen and execute. Right? And again, like if they're trying to get coached by 8 different people and they're like, dude, I'm with 6 IMOs and I'm doing all these things and you system is not that. If your system's not to be with 6 IMOs and you're successful and you know what your system is, if you could be with 6 IMOs and you're successful, there's nothing wrong with that. You could teach it, right? But if they're not like following your system, like, dude, you got to have a serious talk with them. Listen, are you coachable? Because if you're not, I can't help you. So spend the time with the people that are coachable. So duplicate. Now, this is where you find people committed to be business owners. Like I said, there's different, right? We're hiring an agent. We're teaching them how to sell insurance, right? We're teaching them how to be an agent. Now we want to find somebody that wants to be a business owner, and it might be that agent. It might be someone else. Some people, I just want to produce I don't want to mess with people. That's fine, right? We empower people with whatever they need to be successful, whatever it is that they're looking for. But if they're like, no, David, I joined you because I want to be you. They're like, all right, cool. Well, let me help you with that then. Now you teach them how to teach other people, right? You start duplicating yourself. And again, remember, most won't commit. Everyone, yeah, I want to be a business owner. Yeah, I want to be a huge agency, right? And then they're on vacation for 3 weeks. They're like, hold on, so we just have these really big goals. Like, you're not going to hit this goal this month if you're on vacation for 3 weeks, you know? And there's nothing wrong with vacation. I canceled all my vacations my first year in the business. I didn't do anything my first year in the business because I knew I had some really, really big goals and I wanted to get there as fast as I can. I'm like, dude, I'm hot. I'm in the desert. Life sucks right now. I need to get the heck out of here as fast as I can and get somewhere nice, warm, comfortable, with a cool breeze, right? So I worked really hard and ran to that area. So I canceled my life basically until I got there. Now I'm chilling, I'm comfortable, I'm enjoying life. So the sacrifice was worth it because it was just a short period of time. Help them with their vision so they can see what you see. Right? Vision's super important. Like, let them know, like, what is that they can accomplish, what they can have, what life can look like. You know, I share a lot of things financially about my life. I really rather not, right? I'd really rather be really private about it, but I need other people to know where they can be. You know, I also talk about some negative things in my life. You know, that 8 years ago, I was sleeping on people's couches. I didn't own a car. Right? Because again, I don't want people to disqualify themselves, like, oh, well, Dave's just Dave, you know what I mean? I want people to know, like, no, Dave was up, down, up, real far down, and up, and hopefully we can stay up there this time, right? And I think the way to stay up is by helping other people and empowering other people, right? Giving away what you have is how you stay up. So just know that you got to help them with their vision, let them know what they accomplish. And remember, vision changes. Right? Because it's like, you know, you see a picture and it's really, really far away and it's bright and it's vivid. And you're like, oh, cool, that's what it looks like. But as you're getting closer to that picture, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even see all that. Right? And you start seeing so many more things you get accomplished. You know, I'm way ahead of where my goals were this year, you know, and I'm like, my goals were way too low. And my goals are big goals, right? But we're putting a lot of activity, we're putting a lot of work in, we're building a strong culture to reach those goals. So I'm just like, wow, I can accomplish so much more, right? My vision just expanded, and now I'm trying to move forward and create some more stuff. Teach duplication, right? So this is where the magic is now, right? So what happened? We took an agent, we taught him how to sell insurance, then we taught him how to recruit people to build a business, right? But now where the exponential growth takes place, right? The part where I'm going through now is when you teach that next person to teach the next person how to build a business. You know, and I should have put a little slide to show you like a spider web or maybe a pyramid scheme, right? and show you guys how that spreads out, right? So right now, some of my best months financially, recruitment wise, I've been in Costa Rica for most of the month. Right? Because of that duplication and teaching someone how to duplicate. And the thing with this and where a lot of people lose it is if I have a producer and they're doing $30,000 a month in production, which is a high producer. I'm not gonna tell you all my producers do that, but let's say I have one and I do have a few. And then I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna start giving you some agents. We're gonna start teaching you how to build a business. What happens to the production? It goes down, right? What happens to my money? It goes down, and that temporarily, right? And that's the thing. And like, you have to be willing to take that sacrifice and that setback to get to exactly where you want to go. You know, and that's something that I had the vision for and I was able to do. Listen, I was making $20,000 a month at one point, and I was driving like a 2017 pickup truck, living in a 2-bedroom apartment with fake granite countertops, with a futon in the living room, the small little living room as a couch, no TV, making $20,000 a month. We went to an event and everyone knew I was making good money. And they're like, oh, I see a Porsche and a BMW. What car is yours? I was like, mine's the old pickup truck next to the Porsche, right? Because I needed to get my business to where it could go. You know, don't get me wrong, I was really comfortable making $20,000 a month at the time, but now I make that over a week because of this this system right here. And that's consistent. That's not like, oh, I had a great, no, I probably won't ever have another week less than $20,000, right? You know what I mean? And again, it's not to brag, it's to show you what you can accomplish if you follow this system. So this is, like I said, this is when the magic happens. Now you teach the person how to build leaders and duplicate themselves, right? And again, it gets, the further down you get, the harder it is to really duplicate yourself, right? But you got to spend the time and the energy on it. So for me, I typically only deal with agency owners at this point now, right? And then I also help my agency owners help their agency owners. And you try to teach them the same things that got you the success, you try to teach them. So when you teach a person how to duplicate, you'll experience exponential growth. And that's how I doubled in size in 6 months. So today's the last day of the month, or it's the weekend now. So I talked about this. So January, I did $405,000 in issued production. That's final expense with a $65 average monthly premium. So that's a lot of policies, right? And yesterday was the last issuing day of the month. We did $903,000 in business. That's a lot of final expense, right? That's no mortgage protection, $65 a month average premium. So couldn't be more proud of my team. I mean, my team is amazing. Just some team members right over there. And we're gonna make sure we're gonna come deep next year. So it's magical, man. It really is. And again, I'm able to do a lot of things getting ready for this conference. I just had my best month and I really didn't have to put in that much effort. The magic of this is every year you get to put in a little bit less effort and make more money, right? And that's what I call freedom. That's where the freedom is. Because if every year is gonna be my first year sucked. I had tears in my eyes that whole year. Like I was pushing, I sacrificed a lot. If every year was gonna be like that, then this wouldn't have been the business I wanted. But I knew that was just sacrifice, right? I see so many people just not willing to sacrifice that first year, or listen, it might be your third year, but you're not having the success you want. Like you need to just cancel everything for a year. And see how far you could be and where you can be and what you can accomplish. So if you haven't got a copy of the slides, you can text slides to 888-779-1904. 10 minutes still? 7? Perfect. So we have 7 minutes for some questions. I told you guys I'd do some questions. So she had the first hand up, so.
Hey, so do you have any recommendations if you do overrides only, or do you ever do splits? And if you do splits, how do you control and manage that? Or making sure agents That makes sense.
Yeah. So the system I use, there's no way to do splits. So I've never done one, right? And I don't like to talk about too much that I don't have experience on, right? Because there's a lot of things out there that I don't have experience. So typically it's, gonna always be overrides. Now for me, I wrote one policy in the last 3 years. It was my stepfather. That was the only reason I wrote that one. But if one of you guys pulled me aside and said, hey Dave, I want one of your final expense policies, I would walk you right over to one of my agents, right? So I believe once you get to that certain point to where you're making enough money that it's time to empower I always tell my managers and myself, right? My job is to put money in your pocket, right? So if somebody wants insurance and they reach out for me insurance, I always give it to my agents. In the beginning, you gotta eat, right? But once you start trying to build an agency, again, you're trying to help this person survive. You're trying to help this person make it in this business. And when you're taking leads from this person or you're taking business from this person, then you're not doing what the plan is.
Do you rely on your personal production while you have to eat?
Right. Yeah. While you have to eat, it's going to be personal production, right? And then, at a certain point, the overrides will supplement that. And at a certain point, you got to make the decision. And this is hard for people, especially really high producers. But at a certain point, you have to be like, okay, take your income back a little bit. Listen, there's a time when I had an agency and I was doing $100,000 a month and my top producers were making more money than me. right? And I see everything, man, these girls are killing it, right? Girls are free, girls are great at insurance. So at that time it was all just girls. I got some guys now finally, but yeah, but they were making more than me, right? And right, that could be like get to some people's ego, but again, I knew where I'm going, right? So now I make more weekly than most of my agents do monthly, and again, it's passive versus going out and doing it, but you gotta be willing to take that step. Yes, sir.
How many interviews were you running at the height of your recruiting process? And then if you can, when did you switch to recruiting agency owners versus just agents? Like how far along?
Gotcha. So let's just clear here. I recruit anyone. The difference is if somebody is a new agent, I'm going to give them to one of my agency owners because they'll be able to give them more love and support in that level. Now I'm still available to them, right? Anyone on my team has access to my personal cell phone number. So I'm definitely available to them, but I want them to be assigned a mentor that's going to be to work closer to them. That's more in that day-to-day selling, right? You know, if we haven't changed our application or these little details, you know, my agents that are running business are going to be better with that. So interviews. So when I was personally interviewing people, the most I had when I was like, got a little angry, I was a little, I think I was being mean to my girl, right? Is I had every 15 minutes from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock with no lunch break, I had an interview set up, right? And my lunch break was when someone didn't answer the interview. And when these are interviews, I'm saying telephone interviews, right? I don't see any need to meet somebody. I had somebody the other day want to get contracted with me. He's like, hey, could I come shake your hand before you're contracted? I see you have a 2 to 2:30 open on your calendar. And I said, no. You know, because I was doing 1,000 other things and I was actually working from my house and like, I wasn't going to go meet this guy at a coffee shop or my office. Because to me, like if you need that as an agent, you need too much to be successful. You know, he's still contracted, but you know, it just doesn't make sense. Every single person I went and met in person, like just never worked out. You know, so I don't know. I hope I'm not picking on anyone here. Right. So yeah. So the thing is, again, if you're trying to build a massive team, which I was, right? So I went from 30-minute interviews from 9 to 5. I'm like, man, I need to talk to more people. How can I hire more people? I was like, oh, I'll just set my calendar every 15 minutes to talk to somebody, right? Because you're going to get no-shows. So just because I did, doesn't mean I didn't get any no-shows, but I did. I mean, I was literally on the phone from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I was throwing my lunch down my throat when someone answered in a 5-10 minute period. But again, it takes that kind of activity, just like selling. Nothing changes. It's just you're selling something different. You're selling insurance. You're selling insurance to somebody interested in it, right? Recruiting. You're selling a job to somebody looking for a job. You know, if you know you need X amount of appointments to sell insurance, it's the same thing on how many interviews you set up to hire people. And for me, like, I was just always maxing out. Like, why would I worry about like, oh, how many people do you want to hire this week? Or how many appointments you're going to set? I'm going to set every appointment I can and hire every single person I can, you know, and hopefully that works out. Yes, ma'am.
How many agents did you have before you transitioned to agencies?
So, it's a good question. So how many agents did I have before I transitioned to agency? So the transition to agency, it wasn't like a planned thing, right? It just, when people start seeing the success, then they start coming in like, hey, I got an agency, I got a few agents. You know, I think your system or whatever you're doing might be working better than what I'm doing. You know, could we figure something out and come on board, right? So it wasn't like, it wasn't so much I was jumping from one to the other. But again, when I say that too, it was also identifying agents and helping them build agencies, right? I got a lot of people that been with me from getting their license with me to being that do $100,000 a month consistently as agencies now, right? So it's about just mentoring them through that whole process, which is, what I talked about. So that's the thing. So there's that. So now I'm dealing with the agency owners that I brought into being agency owners, right? So, I like building the best, right? I like taking somebody, and it's my favorite part about the business, right? Taking somebody that just didn't have much, right? Didn't have an education, didn't have a good job, was a server or whatever, and like bringing them into an agency owner and helping them create a multi-six-figure income. Like I feel like there's a blessing that I receive from that right there, and I really enjoy that. Yes, sir.
So outside of a conference setting like this, how do you find your agents or agencies to recruit?
So the agents are simple, right? There's a lot of job boards, right? You know, just ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Monster. I'm sure there's a lot of different job boards out that you can use. I heavily use Indeed. I heavily use ZipRecruiter. I don't know if it's better than anything else. I just started with that and I have success with it. So I do use that. So, you know, just think about like Walmart. Like, how does Walmart hire people? Walmart hires a lot more people than I do, or Amazon. They hire a lot more people than I do. They spend a lot more money hiring people than I do too, right? I mean, I'm a drop in the bucket compared to them. How would they do it? Just job boards, you know, maybe having a referral program for your agents, you know, putting value in people's lives, stuff like that. But yeah, my bread and butter is just simple job boards. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, where do you get your leads from?
So I work with a senior life insurance company. So that they're a carrier. I'm an independent agent. I work with that carrier because I like their system a lot. So they actually create the leads in-house. So I get them from there. So I've never personally, I don't have any experience with a lead vendor. You know, they're creating the leads not for profit, but to give their agents, you know, work. So it's, but if you like where you're at and you want to, what I would tell somebody, I think someone asked me earlier, you know, if you are looking for a good lead source, right, and you have to go the lead vendor route, what I would do is find somebody, whatever product it is that you sell, find somebody that's a killer at selling that particular product and find out what their lead source is. And if they have a good lead vendor with a good lead source, I would plug into that. I'm always gonna look for someone successful at something, you know, and then I'm gonna back out from that. Yes, sir.
So going back to your timeline, actually, like when you first became an agent, like how soon did you start building agency? Did you have like financial goals, like when you first started? Because I'm a brand new agent, I already like passed my exam on Monday.
Congratulations. Yeah, so my goal was to take over the world as fast as possible. And just, you know, I really focused on the activity. Right? Like if I could put in all the activity I have and every last, you know, ounce of my soul that I can, the result's the result, right? Because I can't give any more than that, you know? And so that's really how I started. I was just sprinting until I couldn't sprint no more, basically. It was right around I hit 100,000 a month. And the way I knew that it was time to retire my pen is I got 30 leads. I was a door knocker at the time. I went out to start my door knocking route and I drove circles around houses all day long because I was on the phone helping my new agents. And that happened for all week. I didn't get in one house that week. The following week came, I'm like, man, I'm gonna need 30 more leads because now I gotta make up for last week's lack of production. And it happened again the second week. I was like, okay, I guess that means it's time to help my agents. And that's when I stepped out and started focusing more on helping agents, you know, training, mentoring agents, and then also hiring more agents. So I think that was super important. So I didn't really have a timeline. I didn't really know. I was new to the business. You know, my thing was just go at it. You know, as I start learning more, I started creating more goals that fit what I was trying to do. You know, my goal this year is to hit $1 million in a month. I figured I might be able to do it right around the end of the year. Right? Because again, we hit 405 for the first time in January, and you know, we did my goal in December. So now I'm like, okay, cool. August, $1 million, right? We got to do $1 million in August now because we're too close not to hit it. So again, just lean into my agency owners and help them with their goals and figure out how we're going to do that. Yes, sir.
When do you know is the best time to step out of the field when you're building an agency to focus on building up on the leaders?
Yeah, so like I said, for me, I knew because I physically couldn't sell anymore because I was helping people. You know, you got to look at what you're making on the overrides is the biggest thing and make sure you can pay your bills with it. You know, and if you're continue to pay, to spend all your money on things as a producer, because you're going to have to step back with income at some point. You're going to have to take a hit at some point. But again, what people do is once their residual income, right, their override income increases too high or increases, what a lot of people is like take out their foot off the gas. But that's when you really, really got to hammer down and you really got to put the work in, because now it takes a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer of it's a lot longer of a game, but it's definitely worth it. Yes, ma'am.
And outside of contracting, as an agency, is there anything else specific that you need to do with the carriers to get overrides?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So in order to get access to overrides, I'm already set up as an agency, just, I'm very small, with end goal in mind. So, once somebody is contracted with carriers as an agency, do they need to do anything else specifically in order to start getting overrides?
So, with me, I don't. I don't know. There's a lot of different carriers, a lot of difference out there. But for me, it's simple. I hire somebody. The difference between their contract level and my contract level is going to be the override. So it's completely automated on my system. So you'd have to check with the way the carriers work that you work with and how that works. Okay. Yes, sir.
So after you get an agent contracted, what's the step that an agent's new for that first week? Sometimes you're scheduled for that first week that you kind of recommend for them.
So, what you should really focus on was whatever the system is that you used, right? If you're a successful agent, you don't want to deviate from that, right? Like, you had success. If you write business, you teach them the same thing you learned. For me, I'm gonna send them some training videos. It's simple. This business isn't hard. We make it so much harder than it is. If I look at some of my top agents, they didn't need any training. We offered it. The mentorship's like more important, right? They're keeping their head straight, like helping them get through those rough patches. I think that's way more important. But again, if you're a successful agent and you're bringing on an agent, whatever it is that you did that helped you want to teach. I got some top producers and they got some new people, and these new people got them thinking about different things. I'm like, dude, they want to know how to make 6 figures on the phone. I was like, dude, you made over $200,000 on the phone last year. You're a single mom with 2 babies. There's no one better to teach them than you. So why are you asking me how to teach that person, or why are you letting them sidestep your, making you think or second guess yourself? So if you're having this success with your system, that's it. Hey, this is my playbook, and this is the playbook you're going to follow. Real simple. Yes, sir.
And your success is just final expense, no other part.
I've only ever sold final expense with one carrier. I'm not telling you that's the way, but this is what I've done. And again, I want it to be McDonald's, right? I say I'm like McDonald's of insurance. We sell a lot of policies really fast. Yes, there's some products you make way higher commissions, right? But if I want to make high commissions, I would have been selling oil rigs. That's what I would say, And again, I use Senior Life Insurance Company, so.
And that's still current? Just one?
Yeah, I only use one carrier. I don't think I'll ever add another carrier. We cover anyone from 0 to 85. I just don't.
How many agents have you recruited yourself? Do you have a number?
So,
You gotta guess.
Hundreds or thousands. I've hired quite a bit of agents for sure. If you say like myself, where I personally talk to them on the phone, there's times I've personally, with me talking to them, hired over 30 people a month. Like me doing the interviews, me talking to them, me onboarding them.
How many of them stay?
That number's all over the place, man. This is the thing. A lot of times they're not committed in the first place. Right? Oh, I do real estate, but I think I'm gonna sell insurance part-time. Or I got a full-time job, but I think I'm gonna sell insurance on the weekends. We deal with a lot of that. But I don't get too focused in that numbers, right? If you need more people to stay, you just hire more people. You know what I mean? The answer is volume, right? How do you sell more insurance? Get more leads, set more appointments, make more phone calls, knock on more doors. It doesn't change. I wish there was a way I could make every single person successful, but again, it's lack of commitment. Thank you, guys.